To me, how do you do the three-card trick? Now, this evening, for the first time, I'm going to explain it to you. All right? It's actually quite simple. Have you brought a note? Have you brought a note? Have you brought a note? No, not a bell, no. I was trying to be funny, never mind. Anyway, I'm just about to explain the three-card trick. The way you do the three-card trick is like this. First of all, you need 3 cards, right? 1, 2, 3 cards. Very simple. In order to do it properly, you've got to use this card, right? Then you've got to use this card. And if you want it to work properly, you also have to use that card. Now what you do is this. First of all, you put that card on the bottom. And you give a little shake. Can you see? And that card turns into this card. In fact, if you've done it properly, the amazing thing about this trick is the top card's also changed into this card. And what makes this trick even more amazing, if you do it properly, is the middle card is also this card. Now the problem is, what's happened to that card? Well, give a little shake. Can you see? I'll do the other foot as well. And that card turns up on the bottom, right? In fact, if you've done it properly, that card is not only on the bottom, it's also on the top. And if you're really good at this trick, that card's also in the middle, right? Now, when I explain this to people, they always say, but you can't be using 3 cards. But I tell them I only use 1, 2, 3 cards. I only ever use 3 cards. So they say, how do you do it? See, it's very simple. You have to use this card. And you have to use that card. And if you want the trick to really work properly every time, you also have to use the other card. Our famous Baal Kriya's got a story to tell us. Ellie.
I'm very surprised that you let me in today, because I took the chairman's wife to the theater last night without him knowing.
And he left her there.
And I had to run away in the interval. So I'm surprised you let me in. And you know, when you get to the rabbis in my old age, and you've been to many congregations in your adult life, there's many stories you can tell. Problem is that all my stories take a bit of a long time. So I don't mind if you stop me in the middle.
Thank you, Willie, that was very nice.
I really mean that. And I would like to tell you a story, everything is true by the way, from Belfast, when I was the minister in Belfast. Some people called me the rabbi, although I have no smicha, or some people even call me the chief rabbi. I have been in my long life arrested 4 times, both in England, America, Israel and Northern Ireland. Thank God I've never been charged and I never had a criminal record. But I have been arrested 4 times, and these are long stories. I'll tell you the one in Ireland. I went to a bank in Belfast, I went upstairs and drew out some money. I went downstairs and I walked along one of the main roads. Here is the main city hall, and I noticed there was a car going very near the curb just as I was walking, the same speed as I was walking. And I was frightened. I didn't look, I just, with my eyes just went like this, and I noticed this. I thought to myself, not again the IRA. Why again the IRA? Because I was burgled 4 times when I was in Ireland, in Belfast. 3 times was by the IRA. How do I know it's the IRA? Because the police told me. You see, the IRA burgle you, they take everything. They spray something. I remember hearing people coming in. They spray something and take everything. Your socks, your underwear, your suit, everything. is the police told me they do a Robin Hood. They take everything you have and they give it to the Catholic friends. So obviously when I got up there in the morning, those 3 times, I couldn't go to shul. So I was told these are the IRA. And now I had some money in my pocket. I was worried that these people will mock me. But as I crossed the main road, I think it's called Royal Avenue, we're talking about 20 years ago in 96, not quite 20 years, but 15, I walked across the road. It's a 2-way street, and that car went on the wrong side of the road, and 2 people came out and stopped me. And they said to me, showed me a card that said RUC, that's the Royal Ulster Constabulary, and they said to me, would you like to come with us now, or should we come to fetch you later? I thought to myself, today is Hoshana Rabbah, it was afternoon, there's not much time to yonder, I better not wait till they come round, and what will the neighbors say? I'll go with them. And as I went with them, before I got into the car, I gave a good knock to the car. So the detective asked me, they were not in uniform. They were, well, why did you knock the car? I said, well, I wanted to see whether you're really a police car or you're from the IRA, because anybody can show this. I said, how would you tell? I said, because I know that the police cars are in Ireland, were reinforced, what do you call this type of metal or whatever? Armor plated. He said, how do you know this? I said, because our president in the synagogue is the chief prosecutor in Ireland. And he's taken around everywhere by police. He's not allowed to go anywhere. And when he talks to me, he's only got time to talk to me in the car. So I know these cars, and I had the misfortune of banging my head once as I got in. So I remember that very well. And I told him straight away, I know I've got a couple. I've got one of these skull caps. But you know, I'm not really, I have nothing to do with your problems here. I'm Jewish, I'm not Catholic or Protestant. He said, no, we know that you are the chief rabbi of the Jewish community. I said, I'm not a rabbi, not a chief, but they didn't understand. Anyhow, they took me very quickly, they took me up to the police station. It was the main police station where they had all the terrorists. They took me upstairs, 4 detectives sitting, and they had a film there from the, how do you call it, CCTV, a film in a bank. And they had this man who was standing by the teller, and they only had the back of him. And you could see that man going backwards and forwards like Oysa Sholem, doing Oysa Sholem after the restaurant. And I must admit that from the back, this man looks a bit like me. And they said this was me. So I thought to myself, he's probably robbing the bank. So I said, well, what about the, why do you have only the CCTV from the back? Why not from the front? And you'll see it's not me. So I said, one of the detectives said to me, Mr. Cohen, you're forgetting, Reverend Cohen, he called me, you're forgetting we are in Northern Ireland. The CCTV didn't work from the front. Then he told me that this person, whatever he did, they didn't tell me yet, did this trick in 3 banks. And I said, what about the CCTV in the other banks, the other 2 banks? He said, they didn't work, they didn't come out, the film never came out. Anyhow, what did this man do? This man, I said, he's robbing the bank. He said, no. He's doing much worse than that. He's exchanging foreign currencies. He's exchanging shekalim from Israel. I said, what is wrong with that? And I forgot to tell you, the police did their homework very well. I was very impressed. They knew exactly what I was doing in London. I flew back every week to London because I had a business in London with a friend of mine who was exchanging dollars and checks and vouchers, and I had the business. They knew everything about me. How they found out, I don't know. And the 4th burglary I had at home, they admitted that was done. They came in, this time nothing was missing. No socks, no underwear, nothing. No spray. We did it while I was in London. But what was wrong with my house? How did I notice there was a burglary and call the police? Because the fire, how do you call this how do you call this? No, this fireplace was everything was taken off. All the stones were taken off. And obviously they looked for money. But they got a hint that my plane already landed in Belfast, so they didn't put it back. And they admitted that they did this. They looked for money. So this person changed shkalim. So I said, what is wrong with changing shkalim, for goodness sake? So they told me, the shkalim that you changed, they thought it was me. old shkalim. Israel had changed its shkalim to new shkalim. This person changed in 3 days in Belfast thousands and thousands of old shkalim. And all the 3 banks in Northern Ireland fell for it. They were worth nothing. He got thousands and thousands.
And he got away with it.
He got away with it, but they thought they had him. But I managed, the 2 detectives were doubtful whether this was me, and to cut a long story short, we hadn't got much time, they said, okay, we are nearly convinced it's not you. And to tell you just that quite a few months later, I was told by the police that they found the culprit. How did they find him? Because the Belgians also changed their money. And he changed the Belgian money, and then they arrested him. But they were very nice to me, they were very courteous, because they, after all, they knew I was the chief rabbi. Very, very courteous to me. They showed me around the whole police station and so on. But it was getting late, it was nearly on. I can't wait any longer. Then they said to me, they want to show me the tunnels. There's special tunnels there for the terrorists under the police station to the court. So you don't have to take these terrorists in vans. I said, I know these tunnels, I can't see them now, I've seen them. He said, where did you see them? I said, our president, the chief prosecutor, showed me this from the court side. So I don't have to see it from the police side, it's the same thing. The tunnel is a tunnel. I said, okay, and they took me home. They took me home with the sirens. Quickly in the car, I was home just in a minute before London. Before I left the police station, very quickly, there was a man, a policeman, in uniform, as I left in the office at the corner, with all the buttons and all the silver things. I knew this man, and I pretended not to see him, and he pretended not to see me. And I went out with them, the sirens going, getting home, going quickly to shul, not even having time to dress for Yom Tov. And as I went home, I made Kiddush. This policeman came round to me with his chief man, the chief policeman of the Royal Ulster Constabulary. And they came to me and said to me, hey, we were on first name terms. It was John and Michael, on first name terms. He said to me, Ellie, you didn't say anything, did you? You didn't reveal anything. I said, of course not. You mean it? You didn't say anything? I said, I never said anything. He hugged me. He kissed me. I tell you, I'll never forget that hug. It's like a schoolboy being told by a teacher what a good boy he was. Even now, I can still feel it. Even now. What was all this about? Do you still want me to carry on and tell you? Yeah. I'll tell you another time. Let's have a vote on it. Another time?
No, now.
What it was, when I came to Northern Ireland in '94, that time John Major was the Prime Minister, and he tried very hard to make peace between the 2 communities. He did it in an unofficial way. Later on, when Tony Blair became the Prime Minister, he already started making it official. There were meetings in Stormont and so on, and in Dublin, it was official. But Tony Blair, being a good man, he always, which you learned from the Megillah, but Esther B'Shem Mordechai, that you always said that credit is due to John Major for starting it off, secretly. Where do you think, when John Major started off these talks, where do you think these talks took place? I promise you that until 2 years ago, I was not allowed to say this talk. It was I signed the secret register. I was not allowed to say it. I was only clear 2 years. I mean it very seriously. Since then, I've said it 4 times at charity events. But I'm telling you very quickly, I was not allowed to say it. Where do you think these talks took place? In the shul. John Major always told me it was his idea. And the chief policeman in Ireland told me it was his idea. Of course, I didn't tell any of them that he said this and this and that. But because they thought if it takes place in the shul, the secluded place, nobody you will know. And that is true. And I learned from that never believe any government that tells you that they don't speak to terrorists. I saw those terrorists day in, day out. They had meetings, all of them, knew all their names. And they knew, and I saw all the politicians. And I went on and on. I could tell a lot of stories. Cut it short. They told me to accept this position, to be at the shul, to pretend to daven, to go outside in my talis. And I told them in the evening we don't have a talis. Except for the Megillah and Yom Kippur. They said, oh, these people don't know. Just go. Just go round and round and round every time we have the meeting. Okay. Don't let any of your congregants in. The only one who knew was the president. The only one who knew about it was the president. And they told me right at the beginning, Mr. Reverend Cohen, we can't pay you for this. We have no budget. But we promise you, you will be rewarded. And this is a good country. I'm cutting it short. I was rewarded. I was invited to every single party that went on in Belfast and in London to do with the peace process. I've been 9 times to the Queen, to Buckingham Palace and St. James's Palace, and being introduced to the Queen for what I did. So that was the greatest reward because I'm a very big monarchist. And that was a great reward. I never had a penny, but at least I was able to do it. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, with this I end. I think I mentioned to a few of you that I saw that you doubted. When I first came to this shul 5 years ago, and I was still living in Marble Arch shul, that I used to go past when Tony Blair moved to, what is that square called? Connaught Square. Connaught Square. And I always went past because I wanted to try and get into his house. The police always brought me down. I said, what are you writing me down for? I know Tony Blair. He said, you have to. So I said, I've got nothing on me. We're not allowed to carry anything. I said, no handkerchief, my keys are my special belt for here. So they thought the mental man. And I was trying again and again and again, until finally Tony Blair came. And I shouted out, Mr. Blair. He was no longer Prime Minister 5 years ago. Mr. Blair. And he looked at me and he told the policeman, call him in. And I was called in to Tony Blair. I told you this story. I was called in, probably the only one who went to Kiddush, to Tony Blair.